Hello and welcome to ADEIL's 31st annual conference. This session is being recorded, just so that everyone knows. My name is Erin Paul, and I'll be the moderator for this session. Before we begin, I just want to thank our generous sponsors, Noodle, and our host, Old Dominion University. We're thankful for their contributions in making this event possible. I'm also just going to let you know that I'll randomly select a winner for our conference set for this session's prize or swag, and I'll put that in the chat later on toward the end of the session. So thank you for joining us today for exploring emerging technologies for lifelong learning and success. Please join me in welcoming Robin Sullivan and Dr. Nicole Simon.
Great. Thank you, Erin, very much. And thank you for the opportunity to share information about the Exploring Emerging Technologies project through this event. So we are here today to talk about a project that has been initiated through the State University of New York. And it has a very long name that you see on the screen. I'll read it to you one more time. It's Exploring Emerging Technologies for Lifelong Learning and Success. The project has a public website. And if you would like to write that down or even visit the site as we are talking, we will be going through and sharing some of the resources. The URL is suny.edu/mtech. And that's suny.edu/EMTECH. My name is Robin Sullivan, and if you need to find me at the University at Buffalo directory, you need to put in Roberta. I am a teaching and learning strategist, otherwise an instructional designer. I work through the education services of the UB libraries. We have a brand new center called Linked, and our purpose is to assist faculty, staff, and students to purposefully and meaningfully adopt emerging technologies. My email is on the screen, and I would love it if anybody wanted to follow up afterwards. It's rrs@buffalo.edu. I'm also the director of the SUNY MTech project, and I'm here with my colleague, Nicole. She is going to introduce herself, and she is trying to gather the reins, and she will be taking the MTech project further in the future. So Nicole, can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure, thank you, Robin. Hi, everyone. My name is Nicole Simon. I'm a STEM professor in the Math Department at Nassau Community College, which is community college part of the State University of New York SUNY system on Long Island. I'm an ed tech specialist, structural designer, and I've also been both a fellow through the MTech project, and now I am working with Robin to further expand our reach and bring some more emerging technologies to faculty and students and staff.
Thank you, Nicole. So we're going to frame the presentation today with the idea that there are millions and billions of technology tools, tutorials, and resources that are now available at everybody's fingertips. Just go online or dig into your pocket for your smartphone, and you will find many choices of tools. They are continually growing, and they all have different purpose and quality. And there's a big question: how do we know which of these tools we should be using? That is the idea behind SUNY MTech, and we will introduce that to you today. So for short, we have the hashtag MTechMOOC to describe the project, and it is discovery learning to explore and reflect on innovative and creative uses of emerging technologies. The target audience for MTech is anybody that has an interest to stay current with the rapidly changing world of technology. In the morning, something is the hottest tool of the day, but then in the evening, it possibly disappears and you're stuck trying to figure out what do I use in place of it. The project was designed with college students and instructors in mind. How do we help them increase their digital skills? Both advanced and beginning users can benefit from participating in SUNY MTech, and we will talk a little bit more about how you can do that. And I'm going to turn it over to Nicole to talk about the two different parts that make up MTech.
There's two different parts, obviously, to the MTech project. The first one is the MOOC, it's hashtag MTech MOOC, and this is actually through the Coursera platform. It provides a structured, supportive online learning opportunity for any learner of any level to really sit down and explore emerging technologies, learn more about it. It's a little bit self-paced, and I say a little bit because you can either do it self-paced on your own, or we like to really highlight the idea of using the cohort model, where you gather friends, you gather colleagues, and you do this together so that you have that supportive learning environment. And we do have fellows that are involved that will go back and make sure that you're not just on your own through this process. We do jump in and make sure that you are giving feedback, that you're receiving feedback, if there are any questions. And it's really nice because you can kind of tailor the learning experience to your needs. It is set up in a standard format, but you do have a lot of ability to explore emerging technologies designed for what you want to learn about or your needs or your students' needs. So what are these needs? These are the lifelong learning and the 4 C's of 21st century skills. And this is what we have our module set up as. And our learning platform is designed to give feedback in communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. These are certainly the skills that you need in addition to lifelong learning to really learn and curate the emerging technologies that best suit your learning needs, your students, or just for fun for professional development. Those modules and the information and the course feeds right back to our second portion of the project, the MTech Wiki. This is a socially curated wiki repository of freely available and premium tools and resources. They are used again with those discovery exercises through the MTech MOOC, through the Coursera platform, but it's also an open website. It's available as a standalone resource. I've used it with my students where they're able to use the wiki and they use that or parts of the wiki into my course. You can also, again, just model this with the Coursera course and do the two of them together, but you do have that flexibility as far as that you have that custom tailored type of learning. So when we talk about the wiki, here is the heart and soul of the MTech project. Again, you have those 5 different areas: lifelong learning and the 4 C's of 21st century skills: communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. You can click on any of those modules and it'll give you more information of exploring technologies. We have over 600 plus records that you can explore, or more importantly, you can apply some of the filters. We can look by different objectives, what it is you want to learn about, or what it is that you want to explore, or what you want your students to explore. Or we can customize a little bit more through different categories. We have artificial intelligence, we have collaborative spaces, digital literacy, fluency, open educational resources. So you have that ability to curate specific needs to your course, to your project, to your learning. And more importantly, you can take a look at those different emerging technologies, learn more about them. And we certainly can't find every tool out there in the world or site. So we absolutely would love if people can help us curate more. We do have a rating system. The rating system we'd love for people to use a little bit more so that we can find most widely used or the most widely recommended tools out there. So you can always rate a tool, and then you can certainly log in and create an account to contribute to our wiki by adding tools. We do curate them. We do make sure to moderate what those tools are so that we can apply those proper filters. But if you do find something or you know of something that we don't have, please absolutely share it. That way we can keep bringing more information to people to be able to use those different tools.
Thank you, Nicole. So she gave us a little bit of an overview of what SUNY MTech is all about. And I'm going to go a little further into the process. And we will also share, we have some of the resources pulled from the wiki that we're going to talk about. And, I think the topic of this conference dealing with artificial intelligence is very well suited to understand why we even created MTech in the first place. The technology changes and nobody would have expected a few years ago the quick adoption of artificial intelligence in the way it has been recently. And so we're struggling to try to keep up and understand, how do we use these new tools? Well, if you participate in SUNY MTech, you can go through this learning process either by registering for the formal course or just using the wiki as a standalone resource, so that if you know what you're trying to achieve, you can go into that wiki search engine and put in the objectives that are specific to your needs and narrow down based on whether or not those tools are available in the different large categories that Nicole mentioned. We have just started to populate the section on artificial intelligence. And even though, I'm on another thread that shares, here's 20 tools that were introduced yesterday. So we're we're trying not to duplicate those curated databases. So within MTech, we're trying to be selective in the tools that we adopt and put up on the wiki. But the process, if you are interested to participate in the formalized course, it only takes about 4 to 5 hours to complete. You would go into the course, enroll. You would then review and participate with the course materials that we've prepared. It's not like a traditional Coursera course that it is heavy on the content. It is more of a constructivist environment that you decide what you wish to explore. And we have very short 2 or 3 minute videos that explain, how does today's technology, how might you use video to be creative or to be collaborative, or whatever the topic is that you're choosing to explore. So as you go through the different modules, you would explore the wiki tools and resources as part of discovery activities in each of the modules. You would then be encouraged to create a digital portfolio. The very first module on lifelong learning is the most intensive module, and it shares information about some of the underlying concepts that you need to be able to understand to be able to move forward effectively. And some of those concepts are, what is your digital footprint? How do you keep your digital information secure? What does it mean to make digital media accessible? And a number of other topics. So once you're going through the different modules, you would then explore the 600 resources that we have in the wiki and choose one that meets your objectives. You can then pick a tool, create an account with that tool, and then create something, actually hands-on exploration. You're then asked to share an artifact, something that you create, or an image of something that you explored. Share that in your portfolio with a very short 1 or 2 paragraph reflection. That e-portfolio piece is an optional component. And if you choose to do the optional e-portfolio, you can earn a digital badge from the SUNY system. And if you choose, you can also earn a Coursera certificate and a digital badge just for completion of SUNY MTech. So why do you want to bother? What are the rewards? What's in it for you? Probably the most, one of the pieces that if you choose, you can create a personal e-portfolio. We have, I think, about 40 different platforms that are appropriate for creating a digital portfolio. These are all freely available platforms that you can choose. And then you would be able to continue that. You or your students can continue that portfolio long after the MTech course is completed. In addition, you If you choose, you can earn a Coursera certificate and SUNY digital badges. And our research shows that employers are becoming more savvy. What do these items mean? And they are appreciating the value of these non-formalized ways of showing what you have chosen to learn. Probably the biggest reward is the intrinsic rewards of being a lifelong learner. It gives you some habits that you can take with you so that when your favorite tool of the day turns from a free model to a premium model, you're able to make informed judgments about which tool is it that you want to focus your attention on next. And I should mention the ability to earn the certificates and the badges if you have some relation at all to the SUNY system, whether you are a student, faculty, staff, or an alumni, or any of our formalized partners. We have partners across the world in international joint arrangements with the SUNY system. You're able to participate and earn the Coursera certificate and badges at no cost. There are also many institutions that have partnerships through Coursera that allows our students and faculty to participate. I know the SUNY system, all of our faculty, staff, and students can enroll in about 95% of the Coursera specializations and courses at no cost. So even if you're not part of SUNY, look into your own state and see if there are options. I think we have a slide about that a little further. But everybody in the world can participate for free. It's just that certificate and badge that would cost if you're not part of SUNY. Nicole, do you want to talk about some of the improvements that we have in store?
Sure. We've been working on some taxonomic improvements to our wiki, specifically the keywords and the tags, by adding more depth information to help, again, filter down a lot of those different choices for you. Some of the special interest groups we have is for virtual exchange and COIL, which is a SUNY acronym for Collaborative Online International Learning, one that is specific to instructors versus students or general population. K-12 specific, I know in the last couple of years, the K-12 sector has been very, very concerned what information is being disseminated and what emerging technology is being used in the K-12 sector. So we have curated a section that is very specific to the K-12 sector, based specifically on New York State ed law and California system. We also are maintaining and always above board on our standards on accessibility, security, and global availability for international partners.
So I might have jumped the gun a little bit on the information. I think we should switch the slide order on those two. But here is information about the pricing of the MTech project. It is free for everybody in this world. Everybody can participate. If you are with the SUNY system, you can earn free certificates and badges. Also, the New York State Department of Labor and many other states have made arrangements to allow anybody who considers themselves underemployed to get a free Coursera certificate and then also the digital badges. And I don't know anybody personally that says they are at the top of their career ladder. We are all underemployed and we all wish to progress further. So anybody can go to the New York State Department of Labor website, and other states participate as well and get an option to get a free account for Coursera. And these skills are necessary for everybody, displaced workers, underserved populations, and those with low incomes really would benefit from having these free technology tools. For example, the slide show that you're seeing was created with free Google Slides. And so that's just, just one of the many tools that we have available. So we're going to share with you a couple examples in our presentation description. We said we would talk a little bit about gamification and simulation. And I'm going to have Nicole kind of go through, and we'll just kind of jump back and forth talking about some of these different tools. I know Nicole has used Kahoot in her classroom, so I'm just going to jump over to the MTech site. These slides, we will also share them with the conference committee so they can share them as desired through the participants. And so this is a page that talks about Kahoot. Can you talk a little bit, Nicole, on how you've used this with your students?
Sure. My area of expertise is in gamification and simulation, and we have growing about close to 80 on gamification and simulation, and we certainly invite people to keep adding. Kahoot is a wonderful free online game-based learning resource. It is wonderful for people to use for quizzes, for high engagement for their students, low stakes assessment. I use it to springboard topics in my physics classes, and it really brings that engagement component to learning, where it's not just that formalization. Students are able to have fun. I mean, years ago, we used to use the clickers, but now you can use Kahoot. It's a lot easier because it's web-based, so it's completely portable. It works across all teaching modalities and learning. You can assign it to your students to do just a quick little game. I've done that in the past where students have played the game and then what answers they get wrong, turn around and use that to have that discussion on where their muddiest points are in learning. You can either use free ones that have already been created and there's all different levels and all different disciplines, or you can actually create your own, whichever makes sense for you or your students.
Thanks. And LinkLock is a tool that allows you to kind of incorporate gaming into activities. So you can create a link that will allow you to put a password on the link so that you can say, unless you are able to answer the quiz, you cannot progress to the next link in your activities. So that's just one other resource that is inside gamification. We have about 67 gamification resources. StudyMate is something that University at Buffalo was one of the institutions that had purchased this through the Respondus company. And it is now an option for anybody to use through the web. And it will allow you to create gamified activities such as crossword puzzles and flashcards and quizzes, glossaries, etc. So it's a great resource as well. Nicole, do you want to talk about PhET?
Okay, PhET is a wonderful interactive simulation for the STEM areas. It was created from an NSF grant from the University of Colorado Boulder, and it's absolutely growing in leaps and bounds with the different types of simulations you have. You can curate it down if you want by each of the STEM disciplines or by math. Again, it's that game-based learning where students can either use it as a springboard for information, you can use it as a review. I actually created labs out of them where you can log in, get an account, and use labs that are already pre-existing. Certainly find them on the web for free, contribute, and create your own labs or activities. Or you can just take some of the existing ones and repurpose for your students' needs. But it's an OER, Open Educational Resources material. But more specifically, you can customize it again to your students' learning, scale it up or down depending upon the material that you write and create or use with a simulation. Like I said, I use it for my students when we do our labs. And what's nice about it is in a traditional science lab, if you miss a step or have a problem, you usually have to go back to the beginning. And that's not very engaging for students. And it's a little bit problematic in today's learning environment. But here you can scaffold the information where a student only has to go back one or two steps. They have that ability to repeat it. If they don't finish the lab in class, again, it's portable. They can bring it home, they can finish it on their own time. And it really helps with student success because they're not time bound to complete something that they may need a little bit extra work on.
And this resource, the Game-Based Learning Cookbook, is really useful. You can go in and find lesson plans and strategies and different ways that you can incorporate games into instruction or into any type of activity that you want to engage the participants. Great. So the next section, actually, I'll show you the advantage of having a great free tool available. So that one should be on the next screen. I'll talk about that in a second. So under simulation, we have some resources such as using LiDAR. And what LiDAR is the ability to use a smartphone or some tablets. And actually, I think it's in the iOS category right now. Some of the Androids, I think you need some add-on equipment to still be able to use that, or lower not very current iOS devices. But LiDAR will allow you to take your phone, and at the University of Buffalo, we have taken three-dimensional models using a phone of some of the artifacts from our History of Medicine collection. So although, people can't come to our History of Medicine collection and pick up the Siamese twin skeleton, they can go in and use the 3D models to turn it around and examine it from all angles. And being able to provide access to items that aren't easily able to provide access in distance learning environments, that's one of the great things about using LiDAR. And this resource talks about that a little bit and shares some of the resources. See, just for the purpose, we're getting closer to the end, so I'm just going to do one more example here. The National Geographic VR page is a lot of great resources that have 360 video of, again, places that you just can't go around the corner and visit. You can go to this site and you can bring your learners to environments that they might not normally have the opportunity to see. And, it's a really great quality resource. So now we're going to talk a little bit about artificial intelligence and give you some of the examples. As you can see, we only have so far, excuse me, I'm sorry. We only have about less than 20 AI resources. We try to get the best of the best. And the first one is a collection of resources. The next item, if you're pretty new to artificial intelligence or you want to share information about what it is, you can go to the crash course on artificial intelligence. It's a great playlist. And it looks like I have to add the link to that resource to our slides. Another one that is the one that I mentioned a little bit earlier was there's an AI for that. So that's something that you can subscribe to. And they list, here's a theme that we're focusing on today. And here are the AI resources that have been unveiled in the last 24 hours. So you can, just go to MTech Wiki and find information about that. And then the link would take you to their website where you can subscribe for yourself. And then I think they have a referral process. If you refer somebody, you would then be able to get more privileges and more information. And these other links down at the bottom. So if you wanted to see all of the items that were listed under artificial intelligence, you can go here and, just kind of get a list of them. Also, our menu system has a discover menu. And this brings you to the page that Nicole was demonstrating earlier that allows you to explore the wikis. If you come from one of the Coursera modules, it will start narrowing down the resources for you. So we have, shows you like 3 resources at a time. So randomly it says out of the 612 resources, it's showing 3 items. And if you want to quickly narrow down to see, I'm in the, I want to see what do you have in the category for artificial intelligence, it will come and start narrowing that down for you as well. And if you wanted to, say what is items that are under the communication section, it will also narrow those down. And so I guess we don't have any that from artificial intelligence yet in that area. So please consider adding tools. I'm sure from the conference here, you will learn about many different tools. And we always try to focus on the security aspects. And we say, whenever you're going to sign up for any of these tools, make sure you never use a campus password to sign up for third-party tools. It's just, common sense to not use that very secure platform. So we try to share that advice. Nicole, you want to talk about ChatGPT?
So, who hasn't heard of ChatGPT in the past couple of months? It is an algorithm-based AI chat system, and there is a lot of hype about it. There's a lot of positives and negatives going around. From an educational standpoint, I think it's a great opportunity for students to learn correctly how to use AI systems. And I say correctly because this isn't about just having an AI system write your term paper for English and be done. No, this is a great way to get students started through the writing process or the learning process where they need to learn a little bit more about information. Or sometimes I know in the STEM areas, we focus more on the analytical portion and a little bit less on the background portion. So I'm fine if my students start to curate, as long as it's properly cited, some information on the background when they're writing out their lab reports, if they focus more on the analytical portion. It's a wonderful opportunity to have students start learning more about the AI process and the power behind it, and how we can generate very human-like information and how we cannot generate human-like information, and learn the difference between the two. And really, again, have those conversations on how students can use it to their advantage educationally versus taking the easier route and just having someone do the work for them. So it's a great opportunity to use that platform.
Great. And another artificial intelligence resource that I have found to be very intriguing is Knowledge. They spell it a little differently, Knowledge. And it is designed as assistance for kind of your own personal instructional designer. It will allow you to take material and upload it into their system, and it will give you summaries. It will provide content activities such as interactive videos, quizzes, games. Erin, I saw that you were shaking your head. Have you used Knowledge?
I have heard of it. I have not used it. I have heard of it.
And
it's a great resource.
What was that, Nicole?
It's a great resource.
Yes. And I think that's, kind of the idea. MTech gives you an encouragement to go and play and to actually use the tools. And, once you start interacting with them, then you see, oh, I didn't realize I can maybe use this in this capacity. And, as you go through the modules, it says, okay, select one of the tools that you want to explore, create an account, and then create something. Then you go into your portfolio and say, hey, look, I created this interactive video and I put it in my class, and my students just thought it was very, interesting, and, helped them understand the material a little bit more. You can, redesign your learning objectives, and it will help you to develop critical learning objectives that are really, not that easy to do on your own. So it's another resource that we would certainly recommend that you check out. Futurepedia is another collection of tools. And so it is a great resource. You can, visit the site by clicking on the link that we provide in MTech Wiki. And they have, let's see, how many resources today? Many, 350,000 or bookmarks though, but tools added today. Okay, just today, 13 new tools. were added to this resource within the past 24 hours in artificial intelligence. So we will definitely try to point out some of the more popular resources, but we're not trying to compete with some of these resources that are really grabbing people's attention in artificial intelligence. We want to try to point you to the better ones. And this final resource that we're going to share inside of the artificial intelligence category are being able to view and create case-based activities using ChatGPT. This resource was created by the Harvard Business School. And certainly if you have a course where case-based learning is an appropriate way to assess students' learning and have them think more deeply, I would highly recommend that you check out this resource. All right, we're going to keep moving forward, but the website is publicly available. Anybody can go to it at any time. Please, we encourage you all to add resources to the wiki. This slide kind of gives you a little bit of an encouragement. We're going to share the URL once again. Nicole, if you could stick that in the chat for us again, suny.edu/mtech. And we encourage you to explore the resources. Share what you create, whether or not you create a portfolio or not. There's always social media to say, look at what I found, look at what I have discovered, and this is how it's going to help me and help the learners that I work with. And we do want to share that SUNY MTech is an open educational resource, and it's used to help create open educational resources. Campuses are encouraged to adopt or adapt the entire project. Feel free to reach out to Nicole or myself, and we can provide some guidance. You're welcome to use the site that we have hosted, or just recently we have helped the education ministry in Ukraine to adopt the MTech project, and they made it available on an internal system that is available to the people in their communities in their country that are certainly struggling quite a bit. And we are happy. The project is the Creative Commons license. We just ask that you provide some attribution back to the SUNY system. Please consider adopting part of the MOOC or the whole thing as part of university courses. And in addition, it's a great resource for career centers, for student success initiatives, and faculty professional development. Nicole mentioned that her campus has used the cohort model, and just having a group, smallest a few people or larger, who do this together and they share with each other what they're learning. At UB, we had the nursing faculty just bring their laptops in on the winter break, and they would have lunch together. They enjoyed the sessions and they really learned a lot.
Or even just adopting part of the modules into your courses is great, to be able to have students explore, learn new emerging technologies to use for class, or give them a new emerging technology and say, I know you usually use this and you haven't. Why don't you try something new?
Great. And Nicole, I'm going to ask you to just give us a quick run through of the statistics that we've been collecting. I know we have just gone over the enrollments of 35,000 individuals across the world. And so that's an exciting mile mark. But if you can kind of just highlight some of the items on here.
Sure. So our impact analysis for the MOOC, just looking at from when we first started really collecting the impact information from January of 2018 to this past summer, we've issued over 3,700 badges. That's huge. And remember, these are people who've signed up and completed. This doesn't even take into account those people who are not getting and earning the badges by getting the Coursera. So we have a much, much greater reach than this. And you can see our statistics right there with our acceptance rate of 73%. We're sharing out that information predominantly through LinkedIn and Facebook. So when we talk about our reach, our global reach, we have had over 35,000 learners. And this map represents our global reach, but each of those different bubbles shows the largest amount of our cohorted or our individual learners, certainly SUNY being the most predominant one because that's where we originated from. But also you can see our global reach. I know that I work with international students and partners, and because of this, we've been able to reach a much broader audience by using either just the MOOC or the wiki or both. During the pandemic, we have had a big uptick in users learning more emerging technologies worldwide, whether it's to retrain, recertify, or just people needing that information because now we're all a little bit more stretched thin and pulled in different directions globally. So if we take a look at our participant breakdown, it's not just students and it's not just instructors, it's predominantly, but not just those. A lot of these are people who are employed within academia, but are not necessarily instructors, or people who are employed outside of academia. We're starting to see a shift in our numbers where we have people who are not currently employed or underemployed being able to use this to learn those skill sets that they previously didn't have or they need to refresh to get those newer jobs. And some of the results from our survey, you can see there's an overwhelming number of participants who really felt that they gained strategies and enhanced their lifelong learning habits by using and going through the MOOC and those discovery exercises.
And I'm going to cut us off here. I'm going through some of the statistics. You can go to the impact page on the MTech site if you want to see more. But I want to try to save a little bit of time for questions. So I just want to, I guess, close out sharing this page. All these links are available under the About menu. There are announcements that you can copy and paste to share with your communities. There are some small flyers. The 1-minute video can be, it's pretty much what Nicole and I just talked about for the past 45 minutes, shrinking it down into a minute. So if you have, a group that you want to share information with, please use those resources. We also want to put out a call that SUNY MTech needs your help. We need people to partner with us. We would love it if you could first just share information about this project. Just, go to your social media page and say, this is something that I learned about that's available to everybody. Check it out. You can go to our About page and pick some of the resources to, highlight and share, or just, put the URL in your Facebook or LinkedIn profile and say, hey, look at this. We need people to help us contribute tools and resources. AI is so very new. When you find really great AI resources, maybe, for example, the conference playlist would be great to add as a wiki resource. Please do that. We also ask anybody that completes the project to become an MTech Fellow. An MTech Fellow is just somebody that is in the community, sharing support with others as they're going through on their own learning journeys. And we have data. We've been doing this project. MTech's been around for about 5 years. The project that preceded it was 5 years as faculty only professional development. So we've been collecting data ever since. If you are a researcher and you would like to have access to our de-identified data, we would love to share that with you. Most importantly, we need grant writers. The SUNY system and our campuses have graciously supported this project for many years, but now we need to take it further. So please, under the About menu, there is a link for call for partnerships. Please reach out to us. And so we don't have much time for questions. I apologize for that, but I would like to open it up if there are 1 or 2 questions we can address or comments. And Jean, congratulations on your swag. Hope to see that on social media as well. Thank you. Any comments or questions? Clarity for anybody? Resources we should add? I have about 1,000 bookmarks that I could be adding, but just time in the day, I don't have that right now.
I did just put in the chat the conference evaluation for everyone. This is for the whole conference. So please do fill that out. Robin and Nicole, thank you very much for this presentation. Thank you for all of those who have attended. We hope you enjoy the rest of the ADEIL conference. Any closing remarks, anything we need to do as we wrap up?
No,
All
just
right.
thank you and look forward to hearing from folks.
Thank you. Please share the project and please share any resources or tools you can on the wiki.
Will do. This is excellent. Yeah, thank you. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.